going to talk a little bit of college basketball for today, for Monday, December the 28th. So I've kind of been messing around with some ideas, some angles, right? The thing that's happening this year is that we're getting these back-to-back games where a team travels to a location and they play 2 consecutive games there, and that's kind of how they're handling, the COVID situation. So I get it in my head, where's the angle there, right? There's got to be some kind of an angle here. I think Gonzaga at any time is good, Desmond. They're so insane. I just stay away from Gonzaga just because I don't want to deal with that kind of madness right now. So we are going to talk about a couple games, and some of them are going to start sooner. Sorry, I didn't do this earlier. We're going to do Drake at Indiana State, Evansville at Southern Illinois, Illinois State at Loyola, Chicago, and Missouri State at Northern Iowa. All four of those games happened yesterday. So I took all those stats plus their stats from the season and I rolled them into hopefully winners for today. And then at the end, we'll chat about Michigan State, Minnesota, and Maryland, Wisconsin real quick, just because I handicapped them last week and I've got pretty fresh stats on everybody. You guys know I'm a stat girl. So don't forget, like and subscribe. Give me a like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. And if you guys have any questions, drop them into the comment box. I'll do my best to help you out. I studied today's ticket pretty hard, actually, or today's card. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? So Drake at Indiana State. Let's put this guy up on the screen. I've got Drake minus 4.5. The total's 142. What do we even say about Drake, right? I think they're 10-0 on the season. I think they're 10-0 against the spread. Originally, I like the Sycamores. Like, I like Indiana State. They're a team I follow. But I wasn't about to take 3.5 points even at home against Drake because this team is so lights out. The one question I had about Drake was their strength of schedule. Like, who have they really played? But Indiana State isn't one of those, like, we really played them schools either. So I think laying the 4.5 with Drake is pretty solid here. One thing I can say about the game yesterday was that Indiana State made 18 points off of free throws. That's 18 points when the clock is stopped. Drake got in some pretty big foul trouble there, so that's not cool. The total yesterday was 143, and it just snuck over at 144. Today, they've put it at 142. I got to say, I feel like this one is going to go under that total. I know that whoever's I know, Desmond. Desmond says, I don't know why they keep putting the spread so low. And that's just it. It almost feels like it's a trap game. Like, why wouldn't they cover 4.5? They beat them by how many? It was 81-63. I mean, that's a solid butt kicking right there, The thing with Indiana State, though, hey, Quincy, is that, they've played Purdue. They played St. Louis. They got their butts beat. I almost said something else. They got their butts beat in both of those games, but they've had a stronger schedule. But for these, we got to roll with Drake, right? Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it until they stop covering. And if you're keeping these spreads so low, then holy hell, I'll roll with that. The 142, though, I think it will go under because whoever the assistant coach on Drake is, who is responsible for them playing Indiana State, is going to be all over their butts about the free throw problems they got into. So yeah, that's why I play on that. I'm going to say go on with Drake minus the 4.5. See, that's Buck Mars 13 says Drake is 8-0 versus the spread. That's just it. They played Omaha, St. Ambrose, D2, Air Force, Chicago State's horrible this year. They have played 3 on the road. 2 of those were to South Dakota State and 1 to Kansas State. And K-State's not exactly the K-State that we know of. But like I was saying, I just don't think that Indiana State is the one that's going to dethrone them. Love the Sycamores, though. I just can't bust a trend like that until it's time, I guess. Okay, so up next, we're going to go to Evansville at Southern Illinois. Yesterday, it was Southern Illinois minus 11. Now it's minus 8. They beat Evansville by 6 points, and the total came in at 120. It was set at 130 yesterday. Now it's at 127. My thing with, I got a lot of papers going on, all right? It's a lot of work I do for you boys and girls. Okay, so Evansville, what I like about them, they've played on the road. They're an older team. That's another thing I like. They're 3 seniors and 2 juniors, so they are an older. Y'all let me know when my hair looks funny, okay? Someone send me a hot damn text or something. Southern Illinois, they played Butler, North Dakota twice. I mean, my play that I wrote down was I want to take the 8 with Evansville. They were the better shooting team. They did get into a lot of foul trouble. They gave up 21 points to Southern Illinois just from the free throw line. Like I said, that typically adjusts in the game twos. I have like this little chart that I make, like who does what, rebounds, field goals, all that. And so free throws go down. That's typically what's going on. So my play on this is to take Evansville plus the 8 here and take it over that 127 because Southern Illinois, who's typically a better 3-point shooting team, they typically average around 45%. They only shot 15%. They were 2 of 13 from the line or from the arc. There it is. They're all lines, really. Yeah, I think that's going to improve in this one. So I'm going to take it over the 127. You guys have anything to say about that? Little Evansville, Southern Illinois action. Throw me a like, hit subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. And yeah, y'all, let me know what you think. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, that's the play there that I'm looking at. Up next, we've got Illinois State at Loyola, Chicago. Now, we got to remember this is an in-state thing, right? This is an Illinois thing. So these teams tend to come at each other a lot harder and play each other a lot harder. I've totally lost my play on this now. Here we go. Okay, so what happened in the last one? Loyola beat the snot out of them. That's an official term. You can quote me on that. 90-60 was the final there. What I was really impressed with was Loyola had 21 assists, and I think that just attests to they have 4 seniors out there on the floor that are playing with each other. That sounded funny. They also take a lot of 3-point shots. Loyola does 26 3-point shots is what they took. They hit 12 of them. That's 46%. Not bad. Stayed out of free throw trouble, 60% from the field. I can't say that I want to lay 17 points. I know that you just beat them by 30, but I just can't say that I can lay a whole 17 points there. And I think, I don't know. I can't say I wouldn't either. I just don't lay 17 points. So the way that I'm going to go with this one, I'm not going to pick a side here. I am going to take it over 138.5. The last one got to 150. And I think Illinois State is real. I mean, Illinois State didn't shoot bad. It was 42% field goal, 42% threes. You know, like it wasn't horrible. They just weren't as good. I think they're going to improve here. And so I'm going to take it over 138.5. And then, yeah, Parlay King. Hey, Parlay King. He says Loyola minus 17. I mean, I can't get mad at you. You know, they beat the crap out of them. But again, is that going to happen twice with 2 schools that are in the same state that are angry at each other? And what's my little notes on this? Oh, okay. Yes. Here's why it could. Because Illinois State is a very small, young team, and Loyola Chicago has 4 seniors that are very good shooters. So there you go. Also, the total average for Loyola Chicago is 142. The total average for Illinois State is 151. So that also pulls into my going over. And really, it does pull into your minus 17, Parlay King. All right. So now that we sorted that out, let's move right along. Sorry, I don't want to keep you guys too long. I know most people just like to, you know, fast forward to the end of the video and get the picks. I don't give them at the end of the video. I put a lot of work into this. You can watch the video if you want the picks. That's how I feel about it, all right? That's how we doing this. Okay, so last one for the ones that happened yesterday is Missouri State at Northern Iowa. What do we got on him? Northern Iowa, young, small team. And I have written in my notes that they lose their shit in the second half. Those are official words right there. Missouri State, I was curious about them because they hadn't played anybody before they played Northern Iowa. And again, like, are you playing someone if you're playing Northern Iowa? But Missouri State played Northwestern State, William Jewell, Little Rock, and they are just scoring like crazy people. 84 to 69 is their average, 35% from threes, 39 rebounds a game. They don't turn it over a lot. But then I wondered, are their stats so high because they're playing nobody's schools, right? But then they mosey into Iowa and beat them 79 to 59 as 7.5-point dogs. Now Northern Iowa is minus 3.5 and the total's 141. I'm taking Missouri State here plus the points. I even kind of like them on the money line. Yeah, like I said, Northern Iowa is just not where I'm going to need them to be to lay any points. And they've played a decent schedule. They played Richmond. They played Utah State, St. Mary's. Western Kentucky's a real solid school. But they didn't beat any of them. That's kind of the thing. If I'm going to lay points with you, I'm going to need you to beat somebody because I have to subtract points off your score at the end of the day. And I don't know if I can do that with you, especially coming off this loss. So, yeah, I'm going to say take Missouri State plus the 3.5. And I like it to go over the 141. I know it went under. It was at 145.5, and it went under to 138. Then they said, now the number is 141. But in my head, I'm like, but you guys thought it would go to 145.5, right? So now I'm getting a 141. So I want to play that over the total. And that's just kind of where I'm at with that. I feel like I had another point, but now it is gone. Okay, so that's where we're at. Buck Mars, if I had to pick a side on what? I'd pick Loyola. I think you're talking about Loyola. I would. I mean, how do you not? I'm just not, you don't get the name plus money, honey, because you like lay 17 points on things, but call a spade a spade. Loyola's good. And again, with the 4 seniors, I'm always big on how old and how tall are the dudes on the floor. Kurt Alexander and I had this play back and forth on New Mexico at Boise State. And he just swore that Boise State was going to knock out, or that New Mexico had a shot in hell against Boise State. And I had to let him know that he needs to watch the game. And then when he did, he realized Boise State is huge. New Mexico never stood a chance. That's just it. Okay, so last week on Total Chaos, last Thursday, we did Total Chaos and went through some of the teams that are going to play today. So I just wanted to bring them up, see what you guys think about them too. Hold on, I got my app here to make sure I've got all the right numbers. God, this hair of mine, serious. I hope you guys all had a really good holiday. I'm like finally back at home in my own studio, not in my mother's house, and I'm not making lasagna anymore, which is insane because I feel like it's what I've done every day for the past week. Okay, so Maryland is at Wisconsin. That's going down, and we've got Wisconsin -9. I saw it last night at -10, so someone's buying into Maryland here, and the total's at 132. Oh, thanks, Parlay King. And the total's at 132. So last Thursday when I capped or whatever it was, Christmas Day games, Wisconsin was at Michigan State, and everyone was saying how Michigan State's coming off a loss and they're going to beat up on them. And there was no way in my brain that Wisconsin wasn't going to cover a -2. And then I think like when it kicked off, they were +2 even. Here's why. Let's talk about seniors again. Wisconsin has 5 of them. Now Wisconsin is playing at home, and they're only laying 9.5 to Maryland. Like, what exactly has Maryland done this year? They got their butt spanked by Clemson, butt spanked by Rutgers, and then they played Purdue, who I honestly thought Purdue would cover that 5.5. Maryland only lost by 2 in that one, but guess what? Purdue and Wisconsin are not the same team at all. So I think laying 9 with Wisconsin, 9.5 is a bit of a no-brainer here. Especially a Wisconsin who's at home. Also, Wisconsin, I'm tired of saying that word. The Badgers really like to shoot threes. Their defense is decent, but what was I going to say? 134. And 140. Yeah, my totals go over this number. I'm averaging Maryland at around 140 a total and averaging Wisconsin around 135 or higher after that Michigan State game. So I like it to go over 132, and I say lay it with the Badgers. Where? Wisconsin Badgers? Is that right? Sorry. Okay, the other one I want to talk about real quick, just because I got some numbers on it, is Michigan State at Minnesota. Right? The other end of last week's game. We've got Michigan State is -2.5 on the road, and the total's at 153. Again, with this Michigan State team, everyone is, I can't use that term. Everyone is just all up on Michigan State. And I don't know why. I can't figure it out. They have played nearly nobody. They played Duke, who stinks this year. And I'm a Duke girl, so I can say that. But Duke stinks this year. So good job on that, Tom Izzo. They played Wisconsin and they lost. They beat Notre Dame by 10. Notre Dame's a 2-4 school or something like that. And then they played a bunch of in-state games. They got beat by Northwestern, who's a solid team this year. Michigan State's big issue for me is turnover problems. They turn over that ball like crazy. Yeah, you're right, Parlay King. Minnesota money line is the way. I can't believe that Minnesota is a dog at home. Minnesota's home numbers are like insane. They rock, they roll. And granted, they don't have the strongest strength of schedule. They got Illinois, St. Louis, and Iowa, which are like big contenders. Their total average is at 153. Michigan State's is at 149. According to those numbers, it should go under that total. I have a hard time taking the Gophers under this season, especially when they're playing at home. They are just really good. Their defense is pretty solid, but I don't think it'll be as solid against a Michigan State team. So, yeah, that's my play on that. Take Minnesota money line, take them plus the points, take them out to dinner, and I say take them under the total there. All right, guys, like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Anything else you guys have questions on before I go? Drop it now because I'm about to leave. I'm just looking, is there anything else that pops out at me? Gonzaga laying 40, friend. That's a lot. That's a lot. So I'm not going to say anything about that. About that. I do know, I have one friend that texts me all the time. He lives in Washington, and he's always like, Gonzaga first half, Gonzaga first half. Tell your friends they're badass. And I'm like, everybody knows Gonzaga's good, dude. Like, you're not telling me anything I don't know. I do this for a hot damn living. Okay, New Mexico State at Northridge. Let me find them. I haven't looked at it. New Mexico State -8 on the road, and the total is 144 at Cal State Northridge. That one I don't know, friend. I have not looked into that enough to just be able to give you a play here. Although I do love a home dog, I can tell you that. And the Cals tend to be a little bit better than you think they are a lot of times. Maybe someone in the chat could drop that in. All right, guys, that is all for now. I hope I gave you some good info. Hope we can cash some tickets today. And I'll be back. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Don't forget, we've got Total Chaos College Basketball, I believe, is coming on Tuesday. Total Chaos College Football is Thursday. Total Chaos NFL is on Saturday. And then Wednesday and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, we do the Picks and Parlays live cap. This Wednesday, I've got Craig Trapp and Kurt Alexander coming on to talk college football and a little bit of college basketball. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me. It was a lot of fun. I hope